11 o'clock. And right now, 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning, we do one thing here and one thing only. This is Sites and Services. Yes, a special program dedicated to everything concerning real estate. We talk about the real estate market, we talk about properties, we talk about developments. We also give you some tips and tricks towards finding that dream home. So if you're out there and you're a property developer and you have maybe a piece of property or even somewhere you want to rent out, maybe you have your business, you have your house, you have a place that you want to rent out, or even if you're looking for that office space or that home, that dream home to purchase or to rent, you can contact us. You can send and advertise your business here with us, and we will reach out to the world. We have a very strong online presence and following, so you can actually check out this program live on our social media accounts: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just type in Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM and you will be on to us. Of course, my name is Bucci, and like we said, 'tis the season to be jolly. This is the holiday season. And last week we talked about a few tips and tricks towards getting that to dream home, especially this period when we know the property market, there's a lot of activity, especially people moving in and people looking to upgrade or downgrade, or even people looking to sell land, sell properties. This season there's always a lot of sweet deals out there, especially when it comes to that. And we talked about how you can use this opportunity to get that dream home, that prime real estate that you're looking for your home, for private use, for public use, for even your business. Today, I want to talk about something. Maybe I should have talked about this last week, but it's never too late to talk about something, because there's never too late a time to learn something new. Today, in the spirit of the holidays, I want to talk about just a few tips, a few things for you to do in your home before you travel. Now, this is the New Year's. People are still traveling to go home. A lot of people weren't really able to travel because of of course, the fuel hike and the crisis. But right now, a few people still want to take that opportunity this time to travel home, at least see a few people in the village or your family home before coming back to resume work fully. Now, there are a few things, a few tips I just want to give you today for you to do, a few checklists, a few, call it a checklist if you will, of things to do in around your home before you leave, before you go anywhere, before you go for the holidays. First, of course, having that planning a carefree vacation or homecoming or whatever it is, whatever you do before you leave your home is just as important as what you do when you're away. Now, of course, with the holidays, this New Year's, Christmas, whatever it is, you can still apply this to any time you're traveling, anytime you know you're going to travel. Whatever it is, this holiday period especially, I thought, it might be a good time to take a look at just some old, tried, true, and tested things to do that we often tend to neglect. We tend to forget, we tend to shut down when we're traveling. Sometimes you go, you come back, and you hear horror stories like, oh, excuse me, our home was burgled into, or, some kind of electrical fault and a house burnt down, something like that. You tend to hear these kind of things. Now, before you leave your home for any extended period of time, like traveling, I just want to tell you a few things to do. First and foremost, this may seem trivial, but take photos. Take a picture. I'm pretty sure no one has ever thought of this, and I'm pretty sure you yourself at home or your car, wherever you are listening to this program now, have never thought of this. I mean, we take the time to take selfies, we take the time to take pictures of family, of loved ones, but how many times do we often take the time to actually take pictures of your home, pictures of your rooms before you leave? You can take, by the time you've set up everything, you have your packs and your bags, and you packed up, you're at the door, you're ready to leave. Why not just go around? A quick snapshot, your living room, your bedroom, maybe the kids' bedroom, your office space, wherever it is, your property. Just take a quick picture of everything. Have a mental note of it. So you know that anytime, anything that happens, if you go and you come back, and something is out of place, you can always have some point of reference with a photo. You see, using your cell phone or your mobile phone as the digital camera to take photos of your dwelling space, just having it on you so you have an idea. Sometimes you hear of people burglarizing, or I don't know, maybe I'm using the wrong English here, but bear with me. To your home, maybe taking certain items. At least you know what is in place. If something is out of place, you have at least picture evidence to substantiate your own thoughts and feelings on the matter. Now, another thing you should also do, or something you should always note, is you should put the number, at least your phone number. Give your phone number, your home phone number, to your neighbors, somebody who's going to be around. Don't leave your home empty. What I mean by that is, if you're traveling and maybe you have a neighbor, at least share your phone number with your neighbor. So if there's anything, you can be reached and be contacted. I remember this incident where there was a couple, there was a family, they were renting out their boys' quarters to this single lady. And the single lady actually traveled. She traveled out to the compound and didn't tell anyone that she was actually traveling. She was gone. Now, this was during the raining season, and lo and behold, unfortunately, there was a flooding. The banks of the river behind the house kind of it burst its banks and pushed down the back wall. Now, everybody was able to move their property. They were able to save whatever they could from being destroyed. But then this girl, who did not leave her phone number with even her landlord, with her neighbors, or even told her neighbors she was traveling, there was no way, there was no access. No way to reach her, nowhere to access it. So even when the flood had come and gone and everything was even back to normal and everything had dissipated, her room was still sealed. Everything was there, and even whatever water and property was, there was so much property damage. She came back and she practically lost everything. Now, if she had informed somebody at least ahead of time, look, I'm going to travel and I'm going to be away for a certain period of time, that kind of a deal, you sort of give custody. You put your home, you put your property in the care and custody of that person, and that person is obliged to take care of your house, take care of your property for you in case of any kind of an emergency. If there's a fire, if there's a flooding, if anything, that person at least can check on your home for you. And what goes hand in hand with that is leaving your key with a neighbor, especially if you're traveling. Now, I don't say just willy-nilly, any neighbor you see and you drop your key off. I'm talking about somebody within your neighborhood who knows you and you know that person, somebody who is responsible. Like using this example, the story I told you. Now, let's say this young lady, before traveling, meets up with her landlord, who she's sharing the same compound with. Oh, sir, ma, whoever it is, I'm about to leave and I'm going to be gone for either a month, 2 months, depending, doesn't matter. But I've locked up the apartment and here are my keys. Here's a spare key for you. So if there's anything, you can also periodically check, which is also why you leave your phone number. You can call your neighbor. You can, wherever you are, you can call your neighbor, your landlord, whoever you've left your keys with. Could you please check on my house and see if everything is all right? You see, you have an extra set of eyes at home, taking care of your home while you're away, which can also give you more of a peace of mind to enjoy your holidays. Another point, if you have windows, if you have like, maybe you're used to leaving your windows open, or you leave your curtains open, make sure you draw them down and close them shut, because you never know, especially if it's a rainy season. You don't want water or excess of anything out from outside. Even creepy crawlies, even some kind of creature could just crawl into your bed space and you wouldn't even know. So if you're going to travel for some time, close your windows. Even if it's your bathroom window, close your bathroom window. I know a lot of people tend to fond of leaving their bathroom windows open, even their kitchen windows. Make sure all windows are shut. Even inside your home, If it's a room door, if it's a kitchen door, the door to your storeroom, close all your doors. Just close them. You don't necessarily have to lock, but if you can, just close your doors. Make sure your doors are closed and your windows are closed before you leave. If you receive mail, if there's some sort of mail service that you're attached to, maybe you're the kind of person that has something delivered to your home on a regular basis, make sure you cut off all those services before you leave. Make sure you stop them before you go. When you come back, you can reapply or restart the said service. Now, leaving your home, like I said, you always have to tell a neighbor. Let your neighbor know, let somebody know. And also, if you can leave a copy of your key, like we said, you leave a key. This is in case of an emergency. Now, if you're living in an area where there's burglaries, a lot of thieves and burglars breaking in and out of homes, that's always a real concern. And you might also want to look into maybe having some sort of security. What is your security arrangement for your home? This is also another key point. When I say let your neighbors know, I don't mean go around and announce to the whole town, hey, you know what, I'm going to be away. Just one trusted neighbor. Let them know. Be discreet about it. Close up, lock up, make sure you've locked properly, you've closed everywhere, and go. And call in regularly, so your neighbor can go in, look into your property, make sure things are all right, and give you a full assessment to make sure everything is fine. Another thing you should do, a lot of people don't consider, is pay your bills promptly. Pay all your bills. If it's water, pay your water bill on time. If it's light, pay your light bill on time. Just pay your bills. Now, you may consider doing this because you may feel, oh, I'm traveling, I'm not going to be using it, so there's no point. No, the thing is, it's not about you going. It's about you coming back. You don't want a situation where you come back and you don't have light in your home, you don't have water in your home. That first night is always very frustrating. The next day, you're trying to run around to go and sort out the light issue or the water issue, or even the trash disposal issue, whatever it is. Pay all your bills on time. If it's a security person you have on ground, pay him on time. Make sure all your bills are paid and prompt, so you know when you come back, you don't have to do all that hassle of getting everything up and running. Highest, you pay the bill, you turn it off. You pay the bill, you unplug your light. No light in the house. Now, this is also a good way to conserve and save energy. It saves that energy you're using. Just unplug your light if you have to. If you have a light, unplug it. Also, then helps you also prevent things like fire. If you're going to also pay your bill, another key tip, you could leave your security lights on. Just your security lights, but turn everything else off. At least to give your compound illumination, not just be locked up in the dark. Now, as much as you want to leave things to your neighbor to entrust your neighbor to help you watch over your home, you also have to make those steps. So if it's if you leave your light on, just leave your security lights on. You can get energy saving bulbs, so you know that you're not sapping so much light. It's not draining too much. And also, that's why it's good to also pay your bills. Pay them on time. Whatever it is, pay it. Now, like we were saying, turning off your electricity, turning off your water, paying your bill, and then turning it off. If it's water, at least try and turn off from the main supply, the main water supply leading into your house, because anything can happen. A pipe could burst and flood your house and you wouldn't even know. You'll come back and everything of yours is ruined. Electrical wires could spark and you wouldn't know, which is why it's important to turn it off. But there's a difference, like I said, from turning it off and paying your bills. Pay your bills on time before you leave. It saves you a world of stress, saves you a lot of heartache. Just turn it off. There's no crime, or there's no rule book in being too safe. It's always good to be safe. It's always good to be secure. You never know. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. If you choose, you're going to lose, like now, like I said, leaving your lights on, your security lights on. Make sure everything else inside the house is unplugged. If it's the TV, the fridge, the freezer, the toaster, whatever it is, computers, whatever it is, make sure everything is unplugged. I didn't say switched off, unplugged. Pull them out from the socket. Let them be off totally. It gives, like we said, prevention is better than cure. Also, if you have food in your freezer, give it out if you have to. Eat it up, give it out. Clean out your freezer. It's a good way to also, like I said, clean out your freezer, clean out your fridge. You can empty it before you go. You don't want something to spoil, because let's say you leave your fridge on or your freezer on and you travel and there's some sort of electrical issue, or maybe NEPA hasn't brought the light for for a day. Maybe your transformer blows up and there's no light for like 2 weeks. Everything inside that freezer goes. So it's always good to empty out your freezer. Give out the food, whatever it is. If it's food, give it out. You know that you're going to travel, so then you prepare less. That you know on the day you travel, you don't have anything in your freezer. Now, a lot of people may consider this like, oh, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be hungry. There's nothing in the house to eat. But it's a sacrifice for that day. It's a sacrifice. You just bite the bullet that day and you sacrifice. Make sure your freezer, your fridge is empty. Use the opportunity to even clean your fridge. It's good. It's a good, healthy practice to clean your fridge and your freezers regularly. So use that. Defrost it. Let it air. Empty out the fridge and freezer, and you live a good life. Like I said, paying your bills, very important. Giving out your food, also important. And also make sure you don't have any wet clothes, because of course once it's inside, when you pack it in and it's inside, it's musty and it can cause it can grow moss, and that moisture in your home is not actually good. Make sure everything is nice, clean and dry, packed away. If you can cover it up, you cover it up. Take off your bed sheets, all these little things. Don't leave dirty dishes. I don't know how I can stress this thing. Clean your house before you go. Clean your house. Take a picture. Clean it. Use that opportunity to do some spring cleaning. Put everything away in order. Of course, we all know as in our daily lives, we tend to, things tend to get out of order sometimes. Use that opportunity as you're traveling to do a full clean. Spring clean your house. Put everything in order. Also, here's a little tip. Sprinkle a little baking soda inside your toilet and down your sink and your drains to avoid coming home to some kind of stench or even stagnant water in your bowl, in your toilet bowl, inside your drain. Just a little baking soda. It's a helpful tip. If you have plants, water them, or have some sort of arrangement for your plants to be watered. Make arrangements. Let them be watered periodically if it is. If it's trash in the house, take everything out. This is all part of the cleaning. Make sure your house is spotless. If you have pets like dogs or cats or some sort of domestic animal that you have in your house, make arrangements for their feeding. Make arrangements for them to be fed and be taken care of. You don't want to come home and have, it's not fair. You have these pets, they're your responsibility. Take care of them. If you have a car and you're going to be away, make sure your car is parked in, if you have a garage, park it inside your garage. If you don't, make sure it's parked in a place where it doesn't obstruct traffic or block anybody. If it's a compound, make sure it's parked in your parking space and it's not blocking anybody's in and out. If you can get a trampoline, cover it if you can. If you're going to be away for a very, very long time, you can consider putting up your car on blocks, taking off the tires. So at least you come back and your tires aren't so, they don't go flat or damage your rim or anything like that. Also, take out your car battery. keep these things safe. Remove your car battery, remove your radio if it's a detachable radio. If it's going to be a while, take off your tires, put it up on blocks, get a trampoline to car cover to cover the car. If it's in a garage, keep it in the garage. Make sure everything, there's no oil or there's no fuel. If you have a generator, see if you can empty out your gen. Have an empty gen, turn it off. Don't leave fuel inside your gen and travel. It can not just damage your generator itself, it can also cause some sort of hazard, especially if your generator is in a place where it's exposed. So these are just a few helpful tips, a few things to remember before traveling. When you're about to travel, keep these things in your mind. You never know. There's nothing like being too cautious. There's nothing like being too safe. There's nothing like being too careful. You can never know what can happen. Like I was saying, I'll take it again. You can take a picture of your home. Make sure your security is in check. All your doors are locked. Inside your home, make sure you close all the other doors too. Take pictures each room. Draw down your curtains. Close your windows. Make sure it's closed. Clean your house, spotless. Let it be clean. If you can pay your bills, pay all your bills before you go. Pay them up, then you go. Don't leave anything on. Turn off your electricals. Unplug your fridge, your TV, your computer, your toaster, your coffee maker, whatever it is, unplug it. Excuse me. If you have food in your fridges, empty them. Use that opportunity to clean out your fridge. Call it spring cleaning. Clean it out well. Defrost whatever you need to defrost. Give out the food. Do not leave anything in your fridge. Like we said, if there's some kind of energy issue or a power outage, you're going to lose so much. So empty it out. Make sure it's all clean. Lock your doors. Make arrangements if you have pets. Make arrangements. Leave a copy if you have a key. Let a neighbor, a trusted neighbor, if it's your landlord, let someone know that you're going to be away. Collect their phone numbers. Share your phone number. Give them a spare copy of your key. So if there's anything, they can go into your home and check. I told you, I cited an example of this young lady who traveled, left her home, didn't tell anybody, and there was a flooding, and she lost all her property. When it could have been saved, if a neighbor had known, maybe somebody could have gotten there, opened up her house, and helped her save her property. But she didn't, and in fact, she didn't know about it until she came back, because one, none of the neighbors had her phone number to contact her to let her know that this was going on. Two, nobody could save anything. So she came back to meet all that dirt and the grime and the smell, and then all her property gone. So, in order, just leave a spare key, a copy. And also, it's also good to leave a spare key with a neighbor. You might lose your keys one day, you never know. Instead of now running around finding a carpenter to break said lock, to change said lock, you have a neighbor who has a key, a trusted neighbor. Know who you're telling, who you're traveling. Don't tell everybody, but know who you're telling. Trusted neighbor, leave your key with that person. Whatever it is, whatever the situation, you can always get your copy from that person. It's just, I don't know, like they say, common sense. It sounds common, but it's not, but it's just a fact. Close your windows, close your doors. If it's a place where you live in a area where there's a lot of crime and burglaries and things like that, you can consider leaving your security lights on, but turning off everything else. Switch your bulbs to energy bulbs so you know that you're not burning through too much units. In fact, you'll be barely going through any kind of unit. But make sure you pay your bills promptly. Pay them on time. You don't want to come back and meet an accumulation, depending on how long you're going to be. You don't want to meet some kind of accumulated bill or whatever. If you can settle it up, settle it up. You come back fresh slate. You don't have to do much cleaning, especially if you clean your house before you leave. Maybe you dust, you sweep, you mop it, just dust it off and live. Don't leave dirty dishes. Don't leave garbage, which can attract rodents and insects and things like that. Don't leave that. Clean up your house before you go. Turn off your water. Turning it off from the main outside so that there's no incidents. You hear these things all the time. A pipe burst. Maybe a pipe burst in the wall and water is leaking into the foundation or into the wall. Water damage. It's terrible. Turn off your water from the main source. Pay all your bills. Give out your food. things like that. These are just a few helpful tips, especially this holiday period that you're planning to travel. There's still a lot of traveling to be done, especially with the new year coming round and the holidays. They're still traveling, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be New Year's. It can be Valentine, it can be Salah, it can be a public holiday at work, anytime. These are just a few helpful tips and tricks for you to consider before leaving your home when you're going on your trip. This has been Sites and Services on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. I thank my producer, the lovely Queen Jane, for being out there and producing me. Also want to thank Mr. Yemi and my friend, Mr. Cheeks. I call him Mr. Cheeks, but Mr. Chike in the visual department for streaming us live. You can check out our websites, check out our social media pages, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Like, subscribe, tell us what you think, leave a comment there. If there's something I forgot to say, or you have something there, like we always say, no man is a wellspring of knowledge. Share your thoughts, and together we can improve this program, we can improve this hour, we can improve this show. The next program coming up is with Auntie Kemi, and it's called Oshe Oje. So for all our Yoruba brothers out there and our Yoruba brethren, join in. She has something rich and quantitative to enjoy. My name is Buchi, and I say good night and good morning, I apologize, and Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.